Miracle in 28 minutes, when medicine, faith, and preparation save a life in a race against time. Muslims, Buddhists, postmodern communities, global centers create bridges in challenging contexts. As Cuba continues in crisis, volunteers renew schools and bring solidarity to the country. Free flights take cancer patients to treatment locations, reducing barriers between diagnosis and medical care. The former and the new president of the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church answered questions about legacy, mission, and the challenges of global faith. This and more now on ANN. On a planet in crisis, bringing hope requires strategy. With new leaders at the forefront, the Seventh-day Adventist Church prioritizes Mission Refocus. This Adventist Church initiative is a bold response to humanity's most urgent need of Jesus by mobilizing resources and people with courage to go to places where faith has lost its meaning.
Mission Refocus is a global initiative aimed to respond to some of the world's greatest mission challenges. It focuses on 3 major mission windows. The first is one that you may be familiar with, the 1040 window. The 1040 window stretches from North Africa through the Middle East and into Asia. It's home to about 60% of the world's population and most major religions, and yet still many in this region have never heard the gospel. This area has been a mission focus for many years, and it still remains a priority. The next Mission Refocus area is the urban window. The urban window has major cities which are rapidly growing. More than 40 cities of over 1 million people have no Adventist presence. These large cities require unique methods of ministry, such as urban centers of influence. The last Mission Refocus area is the post-Christian window. This window covers Europe, North America, Australia, and many other areas around the world that are rapidly moving away from Christian values. We see many people in this group leaving the church and rejecting their faith altogether. This group is commonly called the nuns, which refers to agnostics, atheists, and those with no religion. Each one of these Mission Refocus windows are unique in their own challenges and opportunities. Please pray for the church's ongoing work in these areas and consider how you can be a part of Mission Refocus.
Now I understand it better, but these really are challenge windows.
And how to communicate faith in a world that does not speak the same spiritual language, where millennia-old traditions coexist with modern skepticism, and where religion, for many, has already lost its meaning. The answer involves preparation. 6 mission centers around the world help to cross cultural boundaries with a focus on respect, friendship, and eternal truth.
In a world of countless beliefs and non-beliefs, where ancient traditions meet modern skepticism, where bustling cities and remote villages each speak different languages of the soul, how do we truly connect with people for Jesus? The answer lies where faith meets context, where Scripture speaks to culture, and where hope becomes a lived experience. 6 global mission centers serve to help us better understand and more effectively share the Adventist message with people from vastly different worldviews. People who don't share our belief in the Bible as a sacred, inspired book. The centers help us meet people where they are, with truth wrapped in understanding. In Thailand, the Global Mission Center for Adventist-Buddhist Relations is breaking down barriers that stand in the way of the gospel. One simple but profound example centers around the role of cemeteries. For those from a Buddhist background, the idea of accepting a new faith that doesn't offer a dedicated cemetery is distressing. And so, one of the center's key ministries in Ubon, Thailand, and other places is to provide these essential burial places for families turning to the Adventist faith. The Global Mission Center for Adventist Jewish Relations, headquartered in Jerusalem, fosters mutual respect, dialogue, understanding, education, and research. The Global Mission Center for Adventist Muslim Relations trains church leaders, pastors, and church members to connect with Muslims holistically and with understanding. Each year, among many other initiatives, the center holds a Ramadan prayer program with thousands of Adventists praying for their Muslim brothers and sisters. The Global Mission Center for South Asian Religions has a huge mission mandate, helping the church find more effective methods and models of sharing God's love with more than 1 billion South Asians around the world. We often struggle with how to share faith with a rapidly growing group of people, the secular and post-Christian. The Global Mission Center for Secular and Post-Christian Mission helps the Seventh-day Adventist Church better understand this group and shares practical ways to engage with this group to open opportunities to start new groups of believers among it. Today, there are at least 34 megacities, urban centers with more than 10 million inhabitants. While never neglecting rural areas, rapidly growing cities are our new mission field. The Global Mission Center for Urban Mission helps equip the church to more effectively plant churches in urban communities around the world. The 6 Global Mission Centers focus on our greatest mission challenges, the 3 mission refocus windows, the 1040 window, the secular and post-Christian window, and the urban window. Each center shares the same mission foundation, Christ's method of ministry. This holistic mission approach calls us to mingle with people, show sympathy, minister to needs, win confidence, and bid them to follow Jesus. In a complex, fractured world, the Global Mission Centers serve as mission workshops, producing new resources and honing new methods. Let's continue to pray for them as they help us transcend cultural and worldview barriers, one intentional relationship at a time.
A heart attack in the middle of a game. A man collapses in the locker room. The friend realizes the risk and acts quickly. Within minutes, the race for life begins. From the first emergency call to the cardiac intervention room, 28 minutes. Today, he returns to the hospital, face to face with those who make the impossible a routine. A true story that proves the precision of medical science and care at AdventHealth in the United States.
Today we had the wonderful opportunity of really bringing together the community, the EMS team, the patient, and the AdventHealth team together to really celebrate. We had an outstanding door-to-balloon time of only 28 minutes for this particular patient that was having a cardiac event in the field.
I was playing a pickup hockey game with a bunch of guys that I know and that I've been playing with for years now, and I just wasn't feeling right. Went to the locker room, took an inhaler, still didn't feel right, and that's when some more of the symptoms started with a little bit of chest pain, and then a couple of my friends came in, one of which is a Chicago paramedic.
We got called for a chest pain call. When we got to the skating rink, we saw that he was very kind of short of breath, very, very sweaty. Said that he had some pain in his chest radiating to his right arm, so we like to get that over to the hospital right away, so it's a seamless transition from us to them.
For the paramedic to recognize that, okay, this is sounding like a heart attack, let's quickly get an ECG, and if the ECG looks abnormal, immediately transmit it to the hospital, and then alert the hospital that there is a ST elevation MI on the way.
It is incredibly important that we restore blood flow to the heart muscle as quickly as possible. I'm sure you may have heard the term time is muscle, and it is accurate. The more quickly we can restore the blood flow to the heart muscle, the better the outcome for the patient and less repercussions for the patient.
I was conscious for everything, watching everything happen. It rolled me into the ER, stripped me down, putting new pads on, doing what they had to do to get me ready to go up to the cath lab.
We get right on the patient, starting in the emergency room. The staff knows to get the patient ready, to get the clothes off, to get the defib pads on, that we have a working IV, that there's good handoff between the emergency room staff and the cath lab staff.
This is really a poster for how a STEMI patient should be treated, right from the recognition in the field to the pre-hospital activation to the immediate transfer to the cath lab, and to achieve a door-to-balloon time of 28 minutes is an incredibly good door-to-balloon time. So this is as good as you can expect a STEMI patient case to go.
I feel great. The hospital was absolutely amazing. I wish I knew their names and was able to shake their hands, because anybody doesn't do their job, I'm not here.
Anthony survived thanks to a quick and coordinated response. AdventHealth, mentioned in this report, is an institution linked to the Seventh-day Adventist Church and provided assistance to the patient. A chapter for the history books. After 15 years in global leadership of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Ted and Nancy Wilson speak for the final time amidst a presidential transition. Watch now, a farewell interview marked by prophetic convictions, lasting memories, and a solemn message to the church.
And I just have to underline in a very strong way, I believe Jesus is coming very soon. And all of the challenging situations of the books of Daniel and Revelation and the great controversy, all those scenarios are going to come to fruition very soon. Even though you might look outside and everything seems to be running, traffic's still going, everybody, I'll tell you, we are just very close to a complete change in what's going to happen. That's why we need to have this urgency.
Yes.
And I think to try and sound that even more is a very important thing. You don't want to shock people or scare them.
Sure.
Because there's nothing scary necessarily about going into the last day events if you are leaning on the Lord.
Sure.
And we're going to have to do completely that, because we'll be placed in situations that are completely untenable humanly speaking. But I would say the urgency of the times, I would urge that even more.
Nancy Wilson closely accompanied her husband in mission for years. One of the most memorable moments happened on an island in the Philippines, where she saw former criminals completely transformed by faith in Jesus.
The closest thing I saw to Pentecost in Acts happened when we were on the island of Mindoro.
Philippines, Mindoro.
The Philippines.
Yes.
And we had heard the stories, we had seen the film, videos of these people who had slaughtered each other. They were controlled by another spirit. And I was to have the health talk before he preached. And I got up there and they had all of these converted souls on white chairs, and there were initials, FR. And I said, "What is FR?"
Yeah.
And it said they told me former rebels. And I looked out at these adult men and women. There was no sign of the hatred they looked pure and almost like children. They just looked forward and just drank it in. And I thought, they are new creatures.
After 15 years leading the worldwide Adventist Church, Nancy and Ted Wilson say goodbye with a clear message. The mission continues. It is necessary to proclaim the biblical truth and prepare a people for the return of Christ.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church is God's last day remnant church. And it is of the devil to try to insinuate anything other than that. But the Lord will take his people through. He will purify his church. There will be a challenging situation that we will all go through, where You will have to make very clear decisions and a winnowing of the church. But it's not the work we do. That's what the Holy Spirit will do to direct us and unify his people for the last final proclamation of the three angels' messages. People who keep the commandments of God and have the faith of Jesus. Revelation 12:17, those who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus, which we know in Revelation 19:10, testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So I'm hoping that Seventh-day Adventists everywhere will take their Bibles as the highest standard of everything, God speaking to us. And then the spirit of prophecy, which leads us to Christ and to his word. Christ is the living word, and he has given us his written word. So those two things, I think, are powerful ways in which Seventh-day Adventists can maintain their focus on the mission of the church, which is driven by the message of the church.
As Ted and Nancy Wilson bid farewell to a season of leadership, their desire remains that the church continues to move forward in steadfast preparation for the soon return of Christ. After being elected in St. Louis, Missouri on July 4, the new president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Ayrton Kohler, gave an exclusive interview to Adventist Review. In the conversation, Kohler shares his thoughts on the election, leadership, vision, and the challenges ahead, reaffirming his trust in God and his conviction that the Lord will continue guiding his church. Let's take a look at the main highlights from this interview.
We were backstage, and the nominating committee came out on the floor of the 62nd General Conference session here in St. Louis, and they recommended the name of Pastor Ayrton Kohler. He was voted, he accepted, he gave a speech, and he was whisked away. We got some photos of him, and now we have him in our studio. We're going to say hello and congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Cannot imagine the heart space, the mind space where you're going through right now, yeah? Even this interview, we're in this interview, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I just want to ask you, from just a human level, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling speechless. I don't know what can I say to you, but I'm feeling confident in the Lord because we know that he's guiding this church, and I'm very confident he will do everything that's needed for us to move forward as a family, my leadership, and especially for the life of the church. Confidence is the first word, because without confidence, I can't accept it and I can't move forward. And the second one, I'm desperate. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. I know that a session like this, we have a lot of meetings, different decisions, and I need to be part of many of them, and I don't know how to deal with that. But again, the only way to move forward is trusting in the Lord, confidence.
I want to ask you, Elder, in brief, can you share, there's many wondering, you have served as division president many years. You were the executive secretary. I don't think the church has ever had the secretary become the president since 1922, since Spicer was the secretary and became the president. How do you think your experience as a secretary would inform your now leadership as the GC president?
Let me mention two things. First of all, I like to see in a more comprehensive way my experience in leadership. It helped me to prepare for this moment. And all the years when I worked as a youth director for 12 years, as division president for 15 years, and now as GC secretary for 4 years, I consolidated, I strengthened in my mind 2 words that represent what I feel and what I need to carry with me for any leadership position. And these 2 words are ministry and mission. In my mind, I have the concept, wherever I am a pastor. I'm not an administrator, I'm not an officer or I am a pastor. Sometimes I can be here, tomorrow I can be there, but wherever I am a pastor. I need to deal with people as a pastor. I need to resolve problems as a pastor. I need to chair committees as a pastor. I am a pastor. And the second one, mission. As a youth director, I focused on mission. As president, the same. As division, as GC secretary, the same. These 2 words comes with me for this position, and I was strengthening those words during the years of ministry. And I believe that My time in Secretariat gave me two things. Number one, the experience. I had the opportunity to know the General Conference by inside, and it was important for me. And the second one, I understood a little bit more the challenge of our worldwide mission. And now I would like to focus much more in the needs that we have around the world to preach the gospel and to see Jesus come in the clouds of heaven.
You have challenges that come to your desk, very, very, very difficult. As president, I would now assume even more difficult. If you could give counsel to all the leaders of around the world, what is a personal way that you address challenges? Do you go through scripture right away? Is it prayer? Is it the love of family that you go for? What is the thing that you cling on to most?
A little bit of all of them.
Okay, yeah.
But when I have challenge to face, number one is prayer. Many times before someone comes to my office, I spend some time praying, asking wisdom from the Lord to face a situation that many times I don't know what I can say, how to deal, how to resolve that problem. Prayer is the first one. The second one for me is to look for advice. I like to look for advice from those who are working around me and from my wife as well. Because the wives usually they say what you don't like to hear, and they are good advisors.
Yes.
The fourth one, I like to hear other people. And at the same time, I like to read the Bible, trying to pay attention in what God could say to me through the Bible reading. These days I did it in many of my readings, and He told me many things that are important for me now. When I read it, I didn't expect that it will happen. Now many of those messages are coming to my mind. For me, this is precious because I'm not leading or dealing with a business corporation. I'm dealing with God's church. It means the first step is to ask His guidance. After that, the guidance of those who He selected to be close to me. And after that, we can move forward confident that He will be guiding everything.
Driven by love for Christ and compassion for others, a Czech missionary dentist set off for Bangladesh 25 years ago, aiming to help change the reality of underprivileged people. In addition to providing dental care, Dr. Milan Muscala brought hope where it was most needed. Today, even in retirement, he returns every year to the same place to support the communities that impacted his own life.
Every year, one man boards a plane with a suitcase full of supplies and a heart full of purpose. His destination? A city that changed his life, and where his mission still lives on. Dr. Milan Muscala first came to Bangladesh as a missionary dentist more than 25 years ago. But God had planted a seed in his heart long before he ever stepped foot here.
I discovered God called me to be medical missionary. I am thankful very much. Always I thank the Lord. I am so grateful that you chose me to be medical missionary.
Over the years, Dr. Muscala built a ministry that reached far beyond the walls of his dental clinic. He treated patients with compassion, started schools in underserved communities, and launched nutrition programs to help children grow strong and healthy. He also organized a sponsorship network that gave thousands of young people access to Adventist education and a new vision for their future. What started with caring for physical needs quickly grew into something more, a life of service, compassion, and faith. Though now retired for 10 years, Dr. Muscala returns to Bangladesh every year to reconnect, to support, and to keep building on the mission he started years ago. He continues to mentor local leaders, visit students, and walk through the neighborhoods praying with families, encouraging the sick, and sharing hope one home at a time. For him, retirement simply means having more time to serve.
I am so thankful that until today I can serve Him. Even I am now retired, but He is guiding me forward day by day. I do not want to do nothing more, nothing less than medical mission.
Because of your giving to the mission offering, missionaries like Dr. Muscala can serve in places where they are needed most. Thank you for giving. Your support makes stories like this possible in Bangladesh and around the world.
And I am so thankful that God chose me and called me to be missionary.
That's it for this episode of ANN. To learn more about the Seventh-day Adventist Church, visit Adventist.org. And for more news and inspiring stories from around the world, go to Adventist.news. We leave you with a reminder from 1 Corinthians 15, verse 58. Be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. Thanks for watching. Until next time.